One of those guys in a major way. Welcome to Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T. Nabil Kareem alongside Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Scott. We got complete post-game coverage coming up here on NBA TV. We're going to hear from the players, coaches, but first from these gentlemen right here. And I'm going to start with you, Zeke, because you called this one. You said Boston was going to win this game, and you felt like their depth would show.
Not only their depth, but someone would step up, and it was Kornet tonight. I mean, what he was able to do with the energy in the Garden, with the leprechaun, right?
Yeah.
The leprechaun will always find a way to help him. And it wasn't necessarily his scoring. It was his intensity, his block shots. I think he had, 8 block shots. Reggie Miller said at one point in time, he's out there playing like Hakeem Olajuwon. and we had And when he mentioned Hakeem Olajuwon, we used to say Olajuwon was two people.
Exactly.
You'd be playing against Hakeem and Olajuwon.
Exactly.
And that's what Kornet was tonight. I thought the way he blocked shots, the way he rebounded, and the way he had everyone, around the basket just kind of off balance. But I thought the Garden crowd responded. Jaylen Brown was, what we've known him to be. He stepped up. I mean, I thought Pritchard, White, they played a good basketball game, all of them.
I don't know what to add to that Hall of Fame. You had every point. I mean, even Porzingis didn't play well.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, to Zeke's point before the game, you knew a different guy was going to step up. But when you're watching a guy like Derrick White all season long, to me, Zeke, he's been an unsung hero.
Why
you leaving him open? He's playing defense. He guards 1 through 4. He does the dirty work. And then this was the first night throughout the playoffs where I thought the Knicks had poor communication. Cat's in foul trouble early again, so now he's kind of contesting Zeke, but not contesting with a purpose. So now JB's attacking. Look at this. He had a couple of chowder hanging out before he took that, Nabil. That lets me know, to Zeke's point, the leprechaun is touching everybody. You get all the way to the rim from the other court. Like, look at this. This is not Knicks defense we've seen throughout the playoffs. So are they a little bit tired, or is it the moment? No, let's give the Celtics their credit. Each guy stepped up. You get the ball out of bounds after a made basket. Give our Higo crowd a lot of credit. This is after a made basket, step into a 3. The crowd's going crazy. Now you're playing good half-court defense. Now you're out and running. And one thing all night long, Zeke, you talked about it. Sharing is caring. The defense gets back in the paint. You share the basketball. You find the hot hand. And Derrick White shoots the blood out the ball game tonight. So they showed their championship moxie. Different guys stepped up. And Zeke, you said it once again, for the young kids at home, it's not always about 30 points. It can be about the rebound. It can be about the block shots. It can be about the extra passes so your teammate gets a great shot instead of you having a good shot. That's what showed up tonight.
Now, to your point, Boston, 27 assists.
Yep, there you go.
And then they go 22 of 49, so 45% from 3. That formula right there, I mean, that's deadly.
Yeah, and let's talk about mentality now, right? The Knicks came to win a basketball game. Boston walked out on the floor to survive, right? So the difference between, okay, we just going to play regular, and Boston was playing life or death basketball. And you can see every rotation, every block shot, every follow-through was like on point. And what we just watched here on tape, we saw them leaving Derrick White wide open in the corner. Jaylen Brown is going right, and we have 3 people rotate off of 2 shooters. Standing on the right side, Brown kicks it over to White. He knocks it down. 3D talked about just easy drives to the basket. New York played a regular season game, and Boston came to survive. Now, when they get back to MSG, right, can you play to kill, right? It's different when you just, trying to win. But when you're trying to kill and knock the opponent out, and the other one is trying to survive, that's when it goes like this, and we'll see who the best team is.
Let me ask you, is part of that championship experience from what they got last season? Because there was points where New York did come back, right? Up until about mid-third quarter, right?
Cut in 6 one time.
Right?
Yep.
But it just seemed that Boston was never they never fluttered. They always had that poise in this game.
They're one of the few teams, Zeke, that you can say all season long, like OKC, they've always played 8, 9, and they're comfortable playing 10. So now I think they were 8-2 with Tatum being out during the regular season. I know Holiday's missed games.
Yeah.
So they're prepared for this moment. Can they take it one game at a time like they showed tonight? You can believe that because you've done it before.
Yeah.
You hit it around the head. If you don't come out with the kill mentality the next game and scores, close what? Knicks is 32-30 that first quarter. That's too close.
Too close.
Too close. Now in the third quarter, it's 32-17.
Yes.
That lets you know now you're feeling good about yourself at home. How does that carry on the road? Because Madison Square Garden is going to be electric and crazy. You thought it was crazy over the past weekend.
Yeah.
This is the first time they can close out in how long?
Yeah.
2000.
Since 2000.
Yeah, not.
That's 25 years, Zeke.
That's pressure.
So that's pressure,
That's
the kill
pressure.
mentality. But now on the flip side of it, Derrick White's like, hey, y'all gonna keep leaving me open. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna keep making shots. So how do you regroup in 48 hours to get the defense that the Knicks have shown us throughout these playoffs to get back moving again?
And this is what we've seen in Boston, right? And you hit on the 9-10 guys that they play consistently. The sign of a well-coached team is when your star player's out, the team still plays the same way. They still play with the same execution. They still play with the same philosophy. No one goes off script. Everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, right? When your team is out of whack and out of sorts, right? That's when you start seeing people doing uncharacteristic things, right? You start seeing them not closing out. You start seeing them forcing shots. You start seeing them not making the extra pass. And right now, New York was out of character tonight. Boston stayed in character, which allowed them to play the same way. Now, here's what's happened in this is the sixth game? Or no, it's the fifth game?
Fifth game, yep.
5 games straight, Boston has been up 20.
Oof.
I'm going to say that one more time.
Yeah. Yes.
This team, they played each other 5 times now. In each of the 5 games, Boston at some point in time has been up 18 to 20 points. So if you're Boston right now, you coming into Game 6 feeling highly confident that you can win Game 6. And if you're New York, a little doubt is always in your mind when you get down. Because even though you've been able to come back and win and have these miraculous moments, you have never led from start to finish.
Right.
And that's the psychological part that you're playing with. So we'll look at the numbers, we'll look at the stats, but 3D and I are going to talk to you about when the guys go to bed at night, what they're thinking about, how they're going to come to the arena, how they feeling. If your J is a little off, just a little off, I ain't going to take this shot. I'm going to pass it, and I'm going to be safe. The Knicks, Game 6, can't be safe because Boston is coming to survive. You got to come to kill.
Nabil, they still took their 49 threes.
Still, they
That's
stuck to the script.
You may love the Knicks, hate the Celtics, whatever it may be, but Coach Mazzulla, who's sitting down at the table, is that we're going to be who we are even though we don't have our best players. So if you're a Celtic fan, you're excited about tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Joe Mazzulla just sat down at the podium. Let's hear what he has to say.
Questions for Joe?
Joe, Jalen had a game-high 12 assists. What did you see from him, both in terms of his facilitating, getting everyone involved, but also the leadership that he demonstrated tonight?
Yeah, I think his leadership came on the defensive end, just with his physicality and his presence. Thought the dive into the bench kind of changed the game for us. There was other game-changing plays, but I thought that was one of them. So he was just great on all levels. Just took it upon himself to guard Brunson, set the tone, and he did that on both ends.
Joe, what led to you going to Fluke there to start the second half? And can you speak just to how big of a boost he gave you guys in that third quarter? Luke.
Yeah, he was great. Just both ends of the floor. Did a great job protecting the rim, did a great job defending without fouling, did a great job on both ends of the floor. So I just thought his presence was good, especially on the rebounding. Had 9 rebounds, 2 offensive ones.